Okay, let's go ahead and figure out how to solve this nice little algebra problem that involves simple interest. Now, I'm going to show you the problem here in 1 second. It is a little bit long. I also left in the title of this video the formula for simple interest. So you can use that formula. I'm going to show you the problem right now. If you think you can figure it out, go ahead and put your answer into the comment section. But let's go ahead and read the problem. It is a little bit long, but let me go ahead and read it to you here. It says you invested $10,000 at 4.5% and 5.5% simple interest. So during the course of 1 year, the two accounts that you invested in earned a total of $508.75. That's how much earned interest you made. Okay, so the question is, how much did you invest in each account? So I'm going to kind of explain this a little bit. I don't really like to give too many hints here because I want to give you a full opportunity to actually solve this on your own. But basically, we have two accounts, right? So you had $10,000. You invested some of it in a particular an account, an investment vehicle at 4.5%, and another account at 5.5%. So you have this account earning interest and this account earning interest, and the two accounts over the course of 1 year made this amount of money, $508.75. So I think I just wanted to kind of clarify the problem just so you can fully understand it. So this is the problem. You need to use the simple interest formula that I have in the title of this video. Of course, I'm going to show you all of this stuff and walk through step by step, explain simple interest. And again, this is not to be confused with compound interest. So I wanted to kind of set you up for success. So if you think you can figure this out, it'll probably take you a few minutes to do. And feel free to use a calculator, but put your answers into the comment section. I'm going to show you the correct answer in just one moment. But before we get going, let me quickly introduce myself. My name is John. I'm the founder of TC Math Academy. I'm also a middle and high school math teacher. I've been teaching math for decades. It really is my true passion to help people learn mathematics. And I'm going to tell you right now, all of you can be successful in math. And I'm especially speaking to those of you that have a tough time with mathematics. Okay, please don't give up. That's the last thing that you want to do. You could be successful in math. You can turn everything around. But here's the three things everybody needs to have in order to be successful in mathematics. The first thing is you got to be willing to work hard. You need a work ethic, right? There are no shortcuts when you're trying to learn math. So if you've been, trying to take the easy way out, just stop looking and start putting in the work. The second thing you need is encouragement. Okay, and this is particularly important for those of you that struggle in math. You need to have someone saying, "Don't give up. There is a path forward. Keep working hard." But here is the third most important thing you need. That is great math instruction. So whoever you're learning from or whatever you're learning from, you need to be able to understand them. You see, math is a very technical subject, and unfortunately, it can be taught in a very technical way that confuses a lot of people. That's not really necessary. The way I like to teach math is to explain the concepts in an easy to understand way so everyone can get what's going on without watering down what you need to know. So if you need help in your current math course or maybe some sort of special test that has math on it that you're studying for, something like the GED, SAT, ACT, maybe a teacher certification exam, or if you homeschool mathematics, check out my math help program. I'm going to leave a link to it in the description of this video. I literally have over 100 plus different math courses that span these categories and much, much more. I'm also going to leave links to my math notes in the description as well. Most students take average notes. A lot of students don't take any notes. And the number one way to fail math is not to take notes, right? So if you've been taking kind of so-so notes, start improving your notes and things will start getting better for you immediately. But in the meantime, you can use my notes if you like. And if this video helps you out, don't forget to like and subscribe, as that definitely helps me out. Okay, so let's go and take a look at the answer to this problem. I'll repeat the problem here in a second, but let's go and take a look at the answer. So here it is. You invested $4,125 into the account that is yielding 4.5% interest, and you invested $5,875 into the account that is earning 5.5% interest. So that is the answer. Okay. And how did you do? Right. Well, hopefully you figure this out. If you didn't get this right, don't worry about it. I mean, there is kind of a few different moving parts here. I'm going to explain this fully, but if you got this right, that's very impressive. Matter of fact, I'm definitely going to have to give you a nice little happy face, an A plus plus. I'm going to actually give you more than 100%. I'm going to give you like 120% and several stars so you can brag to your friends and family that you aced this nice little algebra word problem. Okay, so great job. Let's go ahead and get into the actual mechanics to solve this. Now, you may have solved this problem correctly, all right? Or you may have been pretty close to actually getting the correct answer. But even if you didn't get the right answer, you need to still want to, you still want to attempt the problem, okay? This is the number one thing that I think a lot of math students understand. You can't just look at a problem and say, oh, I can't do that, and not try, all right? You should always try to do a math problem just to see how close you may have gotten to the solution. But when you're dealing with a math problem, especially math word problems, the first three steps are this. One, read the problem. The second thing you need to do is reread the problem. And the third thing you need to do is to really make sure you understand what this problem is asking. Okay, what is the question? So again, I kind of already explained it, but let's just kind of go through it one more time. So you have $10,000 total, right? You're going to invest this into two separate accounts. One that's going to be earning 4.5% simple interest, and the other one that's going to be earning 5.5% simple interest. And over 1 year, okay, these two accounts earned in interest $508.75. So this is how much you earned on investing your $10,000. So the question is how much did you invest in each account? Again, we have one account at 4.5% and another account at 5.5%. And of course, I just gave you the answers. So once you kind of really have a good grasp on the problem and what's being asked, we know we do have a lot of information here. What we need is some sort of model, okay, some sort of visual model. And of course, here we're trying to understand how much did you invest in each account. So, there's a couple different ways you can approach it, but let's start off with this kind of model here. Let's just focus in on this part. I'll explain this here in a second. But basically, here's the thing, right? We want to figure out how much interest was made on that 4.5% account, and then we'll add it to how much interest was made on that 5.5% account. And if we add this up, that'll be our total interest. Of course, we have this information, but this would be kind of a good way to kind of visualize pulling in all the information in the problem. But here's the thing: we don't know how much, what is the amount that was invested, right? That's the question. How much did you invest in each? So when you look at the question in a particular algebra word problem or math word problem, and you need to assign a variable, the unknown here is how much did you invest in each one of these accounts. So let's go ahead and let X represent how many dollars we invested into this account right here, 4.5%. But we'll kind of do this in a nice defined way. And this is the way you want to do it. So the amount invested at 4.5%, we'll let the variable X represent this amount. And this amount here will be in dollars. Okay, so you need to be kind of clear about that because we are dealing with dollars here, right? So X will be how much money we invested into the 4.5% account. Now, let's just think about this. If we had X dollars, right, and we put it into the 4.5% account, well, what do we have left over to invest? Well, remember, we had a total of $10,000. So we have to take that $10,000, subtract away how much we put into the 4.5% account. Whatever that is, that's how much we put into the 5.5% account. Okay, so you need to make sure you understand what I just said. Let me repeat this one more time. So we have a total of $10,000 we're investing. If we put X into the 4.5% account, well, that money's already spent, right? So we have to take that X and subtract it away from our total $10,000. That's how much we end up putting into the 5.5% account. Okay, so hopefully you understand this. And now we have some sort of expression, some sort of variable that represents the amount we invested into these respective investments. Now, the amount you invest, your starting amount, that's called the principal amount. So these two here represent our principal amount, our starting amount into these investments. So now let's go ahead and take a look at the formula for simple interest. So I did put this up in the title because I wanted to not make this any more difficult for you, because the problem in and of itself could be a little bit confusing. But this is the formula for simple interest, okay? And of course, this is not to be confused with compound interest, which is a different topic. But here it is, right? So the interest is equal to PRT, okay? Interest is how much you make on a particular investment. Now, P is your principal amount. It's your starting amount. So let's just kind of simplify this. If you're going to put $10,000 into a bank, right, your starting amount, right, and this bank was, had some sort of savings account, this starting amount that you have, right, this is your own money. This is your principal amount, okay? Now, you're investing this money with the hopes to make some money, right? That money you made, whatever that little bit of money, and unfortunately, these days it is very little. And some of you out there that are, investing, know what I'm talking about. The interest rates here are very low. But anyways, whatever amount of money you make is the interest. Okay. So P is your starting amount, R is your annual interest rate, and we need to express this as a decimal. Okay. So we need to know how to convert a percent to a decimal. So we'll talk about that here in a second. Matter of fact, let's just do a quick example. If you had 6%, if you're making 6% annual interest, 6% as a decimal is 0.06. So how do you convert a percent to a decimal? You simply move the decimal point over 2 places to the left or divide by 100. And then lastly, we have T, which is going to be time in years. Okay, so this is the simple interest formula. Okay, I equals PRT. And now, of course, you should now be able to use this and everything else I kind of laid out for you. So again, we have X being the principal amount, okay, for this particular interest rate. So we have this interest rate. We know we need to turn that into a decimal. This we need to turn to a decimal. This is the principal at this other account. So you're probably saying to yourself, all right, I have a lot of information here, but now we can kind of determine what is our interest. How do we find the interest for the 4.5% account? Well, you're going to use that formula, PRT, okay? You're also going to use the formula right here for the 5.5% PRT. Now, do we have all the pieces in place? Do we have the principal? Yes, we do have the principal for 4.5. It's X, right? I just stated it was X. Do we have the principal for the 5.5% account? Yes, it's 10,000 minus X, right? We know the rate, okay? Here the rate is 4.5. Here the rate is 5.5. And we know the time because in the problem it says 1 year. Okay, so we're dealing with 1. All right, so I'm kind of setting you up for success. Anytime you think you can take this problem and run with it, you're like, okay, I understand enough to finish it. You should pause the video and do this on your own. But let's put this all together because we have enough information. And by the way, we do know the total interest made. Okay, that's a really important part here. That's 508.75. So we have enough information to do what? We want to construct an equation. So you need an equation in order to solve for these unknown variables, right? We are talking about algebra. So once you have some variables defined, we need to tie in all the pieces of information in the word problem so we can solve for a variable. And the variable that we're going to be solving for here is X. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull this all together now. And here you go. All right, so the interest from the 4.5% account, again, we're going to be using that PRT. So the interest is going to be equal to the principal, which is going to be X, right, for that particular account. The rate, which is 4.5%, we're going to express that as a decimal. That's 0.045. And then the time, okay, is 1 year or 1. So the interest made on that account is simply going to be 0.045 times X times 1, which is 0.045. All right, so let's take a look at the interest from that other account, 5.5% account. So same formula. So what's the principal? Well, the principal, remember, is 10,000 minus X, okay, for that particular account. Our interest rate is going to be 0.055. It's, again, that's 5.5%. Expressed as a decimal. And then, of course, this is only for 1 year. That is our time. So we can just go ahead and write our interest for now as 0.055 times this. Okay, so that'll be the interest from the 5.5% account. All right, so let's go ahead and go back to our model here. So remember, interest from the 4.5% account, how much we made there, plus the interest we made on the 5.5% account, percent account, that is going to be whatever this interest was, plus this interest is going to be our total interest. We know our total interest was $508.75, and now we know our interest from the 4.5% account we can represent as 0.045x plus the interest from the 5.5%, which is 0.055 times 10,000 minus x, and that's going to be equal to our total interest. So what do we have here? We have a beautiful equation, okay, that involves x. So our objective here now is to solve this equation for x. And now this is another level of skill, okay, that you need to know. You need to know how to solve equations. And we are talking about algebra here. So word problems are challenging enough. And remember, word problems are nothing more than an application of skills you should be learning, right? So, i.e., you need to already know how to solve equations. Now, if you don't know how to, if you're struggling with any aspects of this particular problem, I'm going to direct you towards like my Algebra 1 course. Okay, that would be a good fit for those of you who are trying to figure out a problem like this, or you're doing problems that are similar like this maybe in your class. So check out my Algebra 1 course. Of course, if you are in Algebra 2 or another course, you can, I have word problems like this in those courses as well. But let's go ahead and solve this linear equation now. And here is the work. All right, so we're going to solve this equation here for x. So what's the first thing I need to do? Well, you have a distributive property situation right here. This is 0.055 times 10,000. I need to take that 0.055 and multiply by 10,000 and x. So, of course, use your calculator to help you out. So 0.055 times 10,000 is 550. 0.055 times this x is going to be a negative 0.055x. So here we have this 0.045x. I can combine like terms, all right? So I have two x terms here. Don't forget the sign. This is negative. And when I add up the x's here, I'm going to end up with negative 0.01x plus that 550, right? So 0.055 times 10,000 was 550. I think I said that. Well, hopefully you can see the work here, just in case I misspoke. All right, so we have negative 0.01x. Again, this is the result of combining like terms here, plus 550 is equal to 508.75. Okay, so now next step is to do what? Well, we're going to go ahead and subtract 550 from both sides of the equation, and you end up with a negative 41.25 in this side. So now we get our calculators. We have negative 0.01x is equal to negative 41.25. So to solve for x, I'm simply going to divide the equation by both sides by negative 0.01. So yes, you definitely want to be using a calculator. When you do that, you get x is equal to 4125. All right, so what does that mean? Well, remember, in the beginning of the problem, we stated that x was going to represent the amount we invested at 4.5%. Okay, so now we know that x is equal to 4125. We just solved for x. This is a number, but remember what it represents. It represents dollars, and it specifically represents the amount of dollars we invested at 4.5%. So the amount we invested at 5.5% is simply 10,000 minus x. So we just replace that x with 4125 and just subtract away 4125 from 10,000, and you get $5,875. Okay, so a lot of different moving parts here. I wanted to really thoroughly explain this problem because interest problems are, common type of algebra word problems. Now, here's the deal, okay? If you truly want to get better at word problems, algebra word problems, it's not enough to watch me do this problem and go, I understood everything you did. Okay, that's not going to really help you. Okay, now you might be saying to yourself, well, why did you make the video? Well, here's what I want to suggest you do. If you want to try this problem, do this on your own. Now that you understand it, maybe do it in a few hours if you want. Okay, if you truly want to improve in math, and be like, okay, let me try to. I remember how this problem was done. Let me see if I can reconstruct it. Okay, it's just I like to use this analogy about getting better in basketball. If you watch the NBA and watch professional basketball players all day, is that going to actually help you get better in basketball? You see, watching me do math is not going to actually help you. Okay, you need to do math. You got to practice, right? So but it's difficult to practice if you don't see the solutions. In my math help program, I literally have solutions for every single problem. So they're fully explained, just like how I fully explained this. So the deal is, one, you have to do the practice. And additionally, if you are, trying to get better in basketball, okay, would you just take one shot and be like, oh, look, I made the shot. Okay, so therefore I must be able to make all shots. Same thing in math. Okay, you got to practice a wide variety of problems. So as I kind of indicated in the beginning of this video, there are no shortcuts in math, right? But if you have the commitment, all right, and you're willing to put in the effort, that combined with excellent math instruction, you can be as successful as you want to be in mathematics. And hopefully I can help you along those paths. So if this video helped you out in some small degree, don't forget to like and subscribe. And with that being said, I definitely wish you all the best in your mathematics adventures. Thank you for your time and have a great day.